Y'all about to get ready to roll, man. We moving real fast.
1 o'clock, we've got the New Orleans Saints traveling to Chicago to play the Bears.
Last week, the Bears fell short, and I picked them. This week, I'm picking them again. For some reason, there's something about New Orleans, even after Monday night, that I'm just not convinced. So I'm going with Chicago and Cutler.
When you live by Cutler, you die by Cutler. I'm going with the New Orleans Saints and Drew Brees. He treats you a little better than Cutler does. If you bring him to town, make him the starting QB, everybody's a little happy with him today. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I don't think the Chicago Bears defense is going to come up short like Miami's defense did on Monday night. I think Chicago's pulling it out. We'll see. What do you think?
Let us know. By all means, if we pick against your team, let us know. If we make what you think is a silly pick, let us know. If you want to congratulate me on being able to pick games better than Ryan, feel free to do so.
Which has not been confirmed yet, guys. Don't believe the hype.
It is possible. Next up, we've got the New England Patriots, 4-0.
Yep.
No receivers, no Gronk.
Don't matter.
Still 4-0. And they're going to play the Cincinnati Bengals, who are really surprising me at 2-2. I thought this was a better football team.
I did too. And I thought New England was a worse football team. But I know with Brady and Belichick, they're going to find a way. And even on the road this weekend, I still think they're going to find a way. What they did on Sunday was impressive.
No doubt. I'm with you there. Patriots all the way. I don't know if I've picked against them yet this year, and hey, it's working out thus far. Next up, NFC North battle. We've got the Detroit Lions coming to Wisconsin to play the Green Bay Packers. And last week, the Detroit Lions rewarded me because I picked them when you didn't. You know, they backed my play. I'm all in for Stafford this year because he's going to throw the ball 55 times a game, and he's got that Megatron guy running around out there. I know that the Packers, you know, that's a team I still believe in. But they're 1-2. The Green Bay Packers are 1-2. The Detroit Lions are 3-1. I like them coming in and taking this one on the road, and if they can do that, we're talking statement game for the Detroit Lions.
Well, one thing I'll tell you about me is that if I'm wrong, I'm not afraid to admit it. Last week I picked against the Lions and I was wrong. This week, however, I'm going with those boys from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Because in Green Bay, things are different. That's Bizarro World, and nobody else plays better there than Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay's taking this one.
I think Matthew Stafford one-ups him on Sunday.
Well, I'll put next week's six-pack on it.
All right, we can do that. Kansas City Chiefs playing the Tennessee Titans. All right, and let's be honest, there's a big surprise at 4-0. Kansas City, I don't know if anybody saw that coming into 2013, but they've looked very solid, very consistent. They're playing the Tennessee Titans, who are 3-1. Who do you take?
But one thing I will say about Kansas City is that they're the type of team where they're not going to beat themselves. They play mistake-free football throughout 3-4 quarters of the game, and that's how they've been able to pull out these wins. They've also been picking against, admittedly, a weaker NFC East conference with wins over the Giants, the Eagles, and of course my beloved Cowboys.
They're terrible.
But the Tennessee Titans are a whole different animal. And I think the Titans got more than enough firepower to take out the Chiefs' conservative offensive attack, because I know it's going to be a conservative offensive attack.
Well, it's Andy Reid. They're going to throw the ball a lot. And Tennessee, Jake Locker, out for a little while. We've got Ryan Fitzpatrick coming in to sling it around, and he's capable, but I'm going to go with Kansas City. I think they stay unbeaten. I think Kansas City surprises everybody at 5-0. Next up, we've got the Seattle Seahawks rolling into Indianapolis. You know I had a great time on Sunday.
Yeah.
Let me correct that. I had 2 quarters of not so great a time watching football.
I know it.
Then I had 2 quarters when that defense came out and flipped the switch and said no more, and Russell Wilson got it going running.
Yeah.
The first half he ran for his life. The second half he ran for positive yards and made things happen. I loved what I saw there. Another tough matchup for Seattle going against the Indianapolis Colts, and they're traveling again. I think they've got 4 out of 5 games right now on the road, and this is another 1 p.m. start time for them. That feels a little earlier when they're traveling. Those boys from the Pacific Northwest. Having said all that, you know I'm sticking with the squad. I'm going with Seattle Seahawks, but I think this is another tough contest, and if Seattle can beat Houston and then beat Indianapolis on the road, this is a team, we know what they do at home. They beat 2 solid teams on the road. We've really turned the corner. I think we're there. This game could really confirm that.
Now, at first I didn't want to admit it. At first I was looking at Peyton Manning and the offensive side of the ball when I was talking about the best team in the league, but I think I am going to have to admit it, as much as I do not want to. I think the Seahawks may be the best team in the NFL. And I think this week they're going to prove that again. We got 2 second-year quarterbacks, but I think the defense is going to make the difference. And I just think Seattle's defense is one of the best ones in the league. Definitely better than the Colts. I'm going with Seattle.
Pop quiz. Is Darrelle Revis the best cornerback in the NFL?
I can't say that. What's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers record right now?
Not so good. Not so good.
Well, honestly, Jimmy, I think I've seen the light. After what Richard Sherman did last week to Matt Schaub, how can you not say he's the best cornerback in the league? He's definitely the biggest game changer at the position in the NFL right now.
You know what? I said that earlier in the year that I thought he was the best corner. I'm obviously still going to stand by it.
You were right, Jimmy.
And we shoot the show kind of late. Matt Schaub might be waking up from a Richard Sherman nightmare right about now. It's entirely possible.
Those nightmares might be happening for the rest of the season. What did he throw that pass for?
He was under pressure. He's throwing it to a tight end. It was a fight for the ball. Seattle actually, Carroll and Sherman both said that they had ran that play against the scout offense on a similar play because they knew that that was something that Houston liked to do. They said they ran that play in practice Friday against a similar play, and he picked it off and returned it for a TD in practice. So that was both a really talented quarterback and some great planning on the defensive side of the ball and some good study knowing the offense's tendencies.
All right, kids, let you know, practice makes perfect. They wound up sealing the deal for the Seattle Seahawks this past weekend. You guys get out there, too.
Next up, we've got 2 disappointing football teams. We've got the Jacksonville Jaguars at 0-4, which truthfully may not be much of a surprise to many people. They're going to be facing the St. Louis Rams at home, and I really think there are a lot of people, and I know I'll count myself among their ranks, who expected a lot more than 1-3 out of the St. Louis Rams this year. Under Jeff Fisher in his second season, Sam Bradford finally getting, something consistent. He's been through more offensive coordinators than I went through grade school teachers. I mean, 1-3, but they're playing Jacksonville.
Well, I think this game's a no-brainer. I think the Rams are going to win this game just because Jacksonville's so bad. But I don't think it's that much of a difference. I think Jacksonville and St. Louis are both going to struggle to score this game. But I think St. Louis pulls it out because they're home. I don't actually think Sam Bradford's really that good, though, to be honest with you. But Blaine Gabbert is worse. So I'm going with St. Louis.
Now I'm going with St. Louis also. Let me ask you this. How many wins did the Jacksonville Jaguars get this year? Who can they beat? How many wins are we talking? Is this a 2-win team? Is this
I mean, who could they beat? I'd really have to look at their schedule to be able to answer that question. I'm going to not go 0-16 for the Jaguars just because it's just so rare that happens. And any given Sunday, anything can happen. So I'm going with the Jaguars, but 1 win. 1-15.
I can see them getting 2-4, but
4? I can see 2.
Anything can happen in the NFL, and they get Blackman back this weekend.
That's true.
That may help a little bit.
Hint, fantasy owners.
Next up, we've got the Baltimore Ravens, the defending champs, looking a little shaky,
looking like jokes.
And they're going to be taking on the Miami Dolphins, who went into Monday night's game standing tall at 3-0 and got slapped around by the New Orleans Saints. Fantastic game for Drew Brees. But so we've got 2-2 at 3-1, Baltimore at Miami.
Who you got, Jimmy?
This one is a tough one for me. I'm going to go with Miami here because I believe they're a better team than we saw on Monday night, but I also believe Baltimore is a better team than we've seen thus far. This one could be a close contest. I think the Miami Dolphins are more talented. I think Baltimore lost too much in the offseason.
I know Baltimore lost too much in the offseason. Baltimore is a cruise ship that just got hit with a cruiser missile. Right? They're leaking from 3 or 4 bad parts. And one of them is Joe Flacco. What do you throw? 5 interceptions this past weekend?
All I know is he got paid very well to throw those 5 interceptions this weekend.
Hey man, they could pay me some of that money and I'll throw 7 interceptions if that's what they're looking for. But I'm going with Baltimore. Why? Because the Miami Dolphins are not as experienced a team. They got a young quarterback. They don't have much in terms of a running game. Definitely not anything better than Ray Rice. And I think as long as Baltimore rides Ray Rice, they'll get it figured out. He's not going to have as bad a game this week as he did last week, because I'm sure he's going to have Baltimore rushing attack on more than 24 yards this week. So I'm going with Baltimore.